Hello, welcome back. So I was really pleasantly surprised today when I looked at this article on Warhammer community website, and this is basically the Questor Soulsworn. So going through a little bit more information about them, their abilities, their reaction, and that kind of thing. And I have to say, I was very, very excited for it. So my problem kind of in the past with Warcry is that for the whole first season, every time there was a new warband, it was very, very samey. So it would be 10 human characters with very similar movement and strength and toughness and all that kind of thing. So they were all too similar for me. And there's a very good reason for that. They were all Slaves to Darkness squads or warbands that were brought together. So they were all very similar for a reason. The problem that I think has plagued Warcry is that those warbands themselves cannot stand up to the compendium warbands at all. I think they get kind of smashed very, very quickly and they don't last long in those matches. And certainly if you look from a match play perspective, last week at Warhammer Fest they had a big tournament for Warcry. I think there was about 60 entrants, something like that. And there was a list of the top 20 on there. And the warbands that were running, how they got on, they were almost exclusively Soulblight Gravelords, who are really, really strong in Warcry at the moment from that compendium. Very, very good in that. But it was really disheartening to see that the Warcry original warbands, so ones that have come direct just from Warcry and nothing to do with Age of Sigmar, there was hardly any in there. But I will say, massive kudos to one guy who was running Hunter's Huanshi, and he ended in the top 20. He must have played really, really well. So kudos to him. That was really great. But generally, the warbands from Warcry, they cannot stand up to the compendium stuff. But looking at this, I think that these guys will do pretty well at a competitive level. So we've only got one of the cards here, and stats wise, movement of 4, toughness of 5, strength of 5 in his attacks. So pretty good, better than your standard Warcry guy. 20 wounds, which is good. 4 attacks, 4 damage on a crit. So everything here looks pretty good. So just a slight cut above your average Warcry. But for me, what makes this warband sing from what we can see so far, and obviously we don't have everything, we've got basically this, 3 abilities and their reaction. But those abilities and reaction, they look great. So we'll start with their double ability, You Won't Even Slow Me Down. A fighter can use this ability if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them, this activation. And basically, for a double, they get to make a bonus move or a bonus attack. So this, for me, is very good. Again, if you're kind of slightly higher stat-wise, you can use this double to deal some real damage, or at least get yourself set up for your next turn. You're very, very good. Now, here's the ones that I really like. So, okay, so for the triple, we've got this one, Face Me Cowards. Enemy fighters that begin their activation within 3 inches of this fighter cannot make disengage actions or end move actions further from this fighter. So this will really, really work for running interference on your opponents. So if you can imagine dropping this on turn 4, when you know that they need to go and try and get objectives and that kind of thing, this will stop them in their tracks and force them to engage with this fighter rather than trying to win the game on objectives. Very, very strong. And the same with their quad, Translocation. Pick a friendly fighter within 3 inches of this fighter. Remove that fighter from the battlefield and immediately set them up anywhere on the battlefield more than 4 inches from all enemy fighters. That is a game-winning or potential game-winning ability there. You can just drop them straight on the objective or on the treasure or anything like that. And this, as long as they're outside of 4 inches of an enemy. And this is a really, really strong one. Now, obviously, the best thing to do is kind of have a mashup of these two. Obviously, you can't in the same go because one's a triple and one's a quad. You haven't got enough dice for it. But if you imagine setting up at the end of turn 3 with translocation, dropping them just outside of a group of opponents, moving into turn 4 and activating them straight away, jumping into a group of opponents and stopping them from moving when he fires off this ability as well, this Face Me Cowards. Really, really strong setup to kind of either run interference with this one, with the Face Me Cowards, or potentially just winning the game outright with translocation. So very, very strong. I really like it. Now their reaction also is very good. Swift Retribution. A fighter can make this reaction when they are targeted by a melee attack action. After the damage is totaled, but before it's allocated to the fighter. If it is enough for this fighter to be taken down, pick another friendly fighter. That fighter can make a bonus move action or bonus move action or a bonus attack action. So that for me is really good. So it gives an opportunity to hit back before potentially a second attack. So effectively you could end that fight before they get killed, or if they do, they can pick another one of their fighters that hasn't activated yet or used up all their activations and get that fighter to maybe hit somewhere else or move onto an objective early before it's potentially that guy's turn. So I really like that reaction as well. Very, very useful for all sorts of different reasons. And I really kind of thought that between these abilities and that reaction, that this is a cut above what you would normally expect for Warcry. Now I'm sure there's going to be a very similar article to this for the Royal Beast Flayers at some point. If it doesn't come out today, I'm sure we'll see it by the end of the week. And I'll of course do a similar version of this so we can have a look at that in a little bit of depth. But yeah, all in all, I wasn't particularly excited by the Nightmare Quest box. But between now learning about this, and trust me, I think these guys are going to be very, very difficult to play against, you know. So certainly if you're not won over by them and you're not going to run out and start playing them straight away, I think that they will be pretty tough to play against. But yeah, between these, not got a massive amount of interest in the Flesh Eaters one. But we'll see, sorry, the Flesh Eater Quartz Warband, but we'll see as that comes out. If it's anything like this and it's got good abilities and reactions, I think it will be, then I'll be very interested in it. So yeah, so between this and that Realm Shaper engine that's going to appear in the box as well, I think it's going to be pretty good. Now, you can use my affiliate link, which is down in the description. That is for Element Games. So if you use that, I'll get a tiny little kickback. And you'll still get your same great discounts and that kind of thing. But what I would say is be careful this week. We know that for Gallowfall last week, there was very, very limited stocks available. And I've already said everything I need to say on that. And if you want to hear me moan about that for 10 minutes, look at my previous video. But what I would say is that if there is a chance that this box has been underproduced, I would be... You know, I would try and get on top of it pretty quick on Saturday. And the only reason I say that is that generally these Warcry boxes, they're normally available for kind of at least a month afterwards. There's normally quite a few of them floating about. I would say that this one could be different because for normal Age of Sigmar players, it's been a short while since we last got a Realm Shaper engine. And this new one, it looks absolutely brilliant. So maybe... make sure that you get in with your copy early, because I think that they might have limited numbers and I think it will be popular for not just Warcry players. But I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Much appreciated. More Warcry stuff coming later on this week, so like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care.